Welcome back. Your Orlando Magic take down the Indiana Pacers 115 to 119. The Magic coming back home after dropping one in Memphis, and now have officially begun their season 3-1. And let's be honest, we all know what we're here for. We all know why you probably clicked on this video. There was a ginormous performance tonight from an Orlando Magic player. You probably know who, and we're gonna get into it. But first, let me just talk about the game a little bit, because there were some things going to this game. I was fortunately in the arena tonight, and it was an amazing game overall. So let's get into it. Coming in tonight, playing the Indiana Pacers, a conference rival of ours, someone who we were very close to in the standings last season. I'm pretty sure we ended off last season with identical records. Now we did hold a tiebreaker against them, so we were able to move into the 5th seed while they had the 6th seed. And that just once again proves the importance of what this game could be. While it's only game 4 into the season, you know, this is a team that's going to be, fighting with us, is projected to be neck and neck with us the entire season. So obviously getting a game up on them, getting an advantage for future tiebreakers if needed again, it's a great thing. I think it's something that people have looked past because, it's so early in the season. This is game 4. You have no idea how it's going to play out. But this game could be one that comes back and saves us in the end. Because from Indiana's perspective this season, this has not gone or started off as they would like it. I think they're 1-3 now on the season. So now with tonight's win, we not only have a 2-game advantage as of now, but we also have, the 1-0 season series. So now going into the game and just what was going, like how it felt, this was first of all, a roller coaster, emotional roller coaster of a game. And I'm almost glad because it just made it that much more special. Like, obviously, if what would have happened tonight would have came in a 20-point blowout, it would have been great, don't get me wrong. But I feel like the fact that we went through so much, like, the ups of that first half and then the downs of that third quarter, and then even into the fourth quarter, there was still points where it wasn't looking great, but you were definitely able to feel an energy shift, especially coming right out of that third. And I think having the game come down to the final seconds and Paolo Banchero capping off his spectacular performance with buckets that are really needed for this win, it just makes it a whole nother experience. Because it's not like he was stat padding tonight, we needed every one of those 50 points, every one of those rebounds, every one of those assists. It all ended up mattering in the end because of how close the game was. Going into tonight, we were not perfectly healthy. We were missing Goga Batadze and Jonathan Isaac. Isaac has missed the past 3 games, I believe now, with a hip injury. I don't know what exactly. And then I think Goga was a foot. They're both questionable going into the game. I believe even they both reached game time decisions, but were ultimately ruled out. So hopefully that means soon, as of next game, they should hopefully be back. I say that optimistically, especially for Jonathan Isaac. I think Gogo will be fine, but for Jonathan Isaac, this injury occurred in the first game of the season versus Miami, and from what I read after that game, it was expected that he was going to be back for the Brooklyn Nets, and he wasn't there then. He didn't play in Memphis, and he didn't play tonight. So like I said, I'm optimistic that he will be back Wednesday, but you know how that goes with Jonathan Isaac and how, the team is a little more cautionary when it comes to JI. That is no secret. But with that, that was not the end of it. Franz Wagner tonight did come in questionable through illness, so no injury, just illness. And we did get the news 30 minutes before tip-off that he would be good to go. He was in the starting lineup tonight and played the first half, didn't play too much, and that was the end of his night for him. We did not see him at all in the second half. He was held out for the remainder of the game due to the illness. Most likely the same thing that we saw Cole Anthony get talked about in the beginning of the season. We saw a picture floating around with him, practicing with a mask on. It was just saying that he wasn't feeling good. So hopefully this doesn't spread around the team too much. I believe even Tristan Da Silva had the same exact thing today. He was also ruled into play but didn't actually enter the game. But let's get into some personal player performances, because while Paolo Banchero was the man of the night, there are plenty of other things that the other guys did tonight that really stepped up and won us this game. Starting off with Wendell Carter Jr. with the absence of Goga and JI tonight, we needed him to step up. This was, an Indiana Pacers team that is very fast-paced, likes to get downhill. And I knew going into this that this was, he's been great this season. I think double-digit rebounds now in every single game, which is a big thing for Wendell Carter. Tonight, double-double, 11 points, 10 rebounds. And I think he did step up pretty well tonight. I believe he had a great impact on the boards. He had a 10 or 11. I believe Miles Turner only had 2 or 3. When I looked at the box score up at the game, I saw he had 2 in the fourth quarter. I don't know what he ended off with. All right, so I just checked. He did only end up with 5 rebounds. So 5 to Wendell Carter's 10. But I do think he did a great job being the big physical presence in the paint, being a paint protector like we want him to be, and kind of filling in for what JI would definitely provide, because we've seen in the past that JI gives this Pacers team some problems. So I was a little disappointed when he didn't play tonight because I thought he would be a big X factor for us. But I was glad that Wendell was able to really step up and, you know, provide us what we needed when we needed it. Next up, I want to talk about Mo Wagner. Mo Wagner was huge tonight. Mo Wagner was the Mo Wagner that we love to see, and the player that just feeds off the energy in the arena. 16 minutes tonight, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, and that really, like, that doesn't even justify what he brought to the game. He was feisty. He got the crowd going. He got himself going because of it and was able to knock down some big shots, create momentum. He had a really nice sequence in the third quarter where I think he scored 3 straight baskets. He hit a 3, then he had a dunk, and then they got the steal, and then he had another dunk out of that. So just all around some really good, impactful minutes for Mo, stepping up for his brother tonight. And next up, I have to talk about Jalen Suggs, who, while Paolo Banchero was the star of the night, Jalen Suggs was right there with him. I thought he played phenomenal today. Opened up the game, 5 of 5 from 3. Did end the game off with 25 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists on only 2 turnovers, and was able to knock down 6 of his 13 3-point attempts. He brought the energy, he brought the defense, he hit big time shots, and he made big time plays when needed. And I think this performance is really just going to go under the radar, but I don't think some people realize how great he was tonight and how much we need to see more of this in the future. And we have seen it fairly consistently this season. This season, he's been great. He's been games where I think he's been our best player. Tonight was not the case, but like I said, by far, he was clear the second best player of the night, the second most important player of the night. Now let's talk about Anthony Black, because Anthony Black, you look at the box score, the numbers will not jump out at you at all. You look at him, it's a relatively quiet game for him. It's his first game this season not touching double-digit points. But he was huge this game. Absolutely huge. 30 minutes tonight, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block. And that just doesn't even tell the entire story of just how important he was tonight. Not only was he taking the defensive responsibilities for Tyrese Halliburton in the Jalen Suggs minutes, he was a menace on that end of the ball all night, and he was just making really, really smart plays. And it all came down to it. A minute left on the clock, tied game. The attention is obviously on Banchero at this point. Banchero makes the right play. Suggs swings it to Anthony Black, and Anthony Black knocks down a huge 3 to bring the Magic up 3 with, I believe, 30 seconds left. I even believe that earlier in the fourth quarter, he had another huge 3, and he came up big. It was a great game for him. I think it's going to be a great game for his confidence. You know, we know it's been talked about all the time how much he really is a gym rat, how much he works on his jump shot. And we've seen it with our own eyes how much it's developed since the day he was drafted on this team. When you go back and look at the day he was drafted, his first time seeing him, the jump shot was way different, like a completely different player. It looked broken, but I can say that now because how great it's, come together. But you just listen to anyone in the organization talk about him. He works. They say the same thing. He was in the lab all summer, and he just wants to be great, and he's putting a lot of work into that 3 ball, into his whole game entirely. He's been so much more aggressive this season, and tonight it just feels like it was really paid off for us and him. And I know that he probably feels great. Even after the game, when Paolo Banchero was doing his interview, he started off the post-game press. First thing he talks about was Anthony Black. The dude who just had a career night starts off congratulating his teammates before he talks about himself. First of all, I love that. And second, that really shows how unselfish his team is and how much they really just, they mesh and care for each other. And speaking of Paolo, let's get into it. The man of the day. What a career, just not only a career night for him, a career night in Magic history. Tied T-Mac tonight for the most points scored in a half in franchise history. The second player to ever drop 50 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists under the age of 22, next to LeBron James, a player who Paolo gets compared to a lot. And just being able to be there, be in the arena, and feel the energy and watch this in person. That first half for me felt like an out-of-body experience. I couldn't imagine how great it felt for Paolo, but just being in the arena though, watching it all go down, I wasn't even clicking how many points he had. Like, I really wasn't even looking up at the box score. I was just watching, and I'm like, he hit another one, and all of a sudden you look up and it's halftime, and he has 37 points. And I'm not gonna lie, then I started thinking like, oh, whoa, what are we in for tonight? Like, what is the actual ceiling of this game? Because you look at the box score, and at halftime you're like, this is gonna be probably easily a 50-point triple-double. Now, unfortunately, we do fall slightly short of a 50-point triple-double, only 9 assists. He was able to create some really good looks for his teammates, but unfortunately, no one's able to knock it down. So we'll have to do with only 50, 13, and 9. Now, I will say, going into halftime, we were up, I believe, 12. I was a little concerned that this second half was going to be fed through Paolo in almost too much, because the game, 12 points is nothing, right? We all know 12 points in today's NBA is absolutely nothing. So I was a little concerned that we would try to feed the ball to Paolo a little too much to get him going. And coming out in the second half, it almost felt like that. Like I said, the second half was not pretty at all. I think it was 39-22, and Paolo was not able to get a single shot to fall. I believe his only points came from the free throw line. And I'm sure Indiana, obviously, when they went back into halftime, they game planned completely differently for the rest of this game, putting all their focus into Banchero. And props to them, because it really showed. I mean, they did slow him down, but when that fourth quarter came around, you know, great players do great things, and he was just a monster, putting his head down, getting to the rim, making them pay. He was pretty much in that mode where of like, I'm either going to get to the bucket and get a point, or you're going to have to foul me to stop me. And it's exactly what he did. He had some huge buckets in the fourth quarter, some big and ones, and ultimately really helped bring us back into this game and get us, you know, a victory tonight. Now, I will say, listen, this should be very scary for the rest of the league. Paolo left a lot of points on the board tonight. Like I said, the third quarter was not the best, but especially in the free throw category. Paolo has struggled a little bit this season on free throws, so, you know, he was fine tonight in that regard, not too bad. But it definitely could have been better. He shot 22 free throws tonight and only shot 68%, missing 7, I believe. And he started off pretty hot from 3, and he only finished the game 3 of 9. So hit a little bit more free throws, hit 1 or 2 more threes, and we're talking about nearly a 60-point performance. And I do believe, since this is his first, this is his first, like, you could tell it obviously meant a lot to him. And I think now that the first is out of the way, I think if he was ever in this type of situation again, he would approach it completely differently and continue to let the game kind of flow to him naturally, because that's the way it got him in the first quarter. He got hot, just playing his game, and he took advantage of it. But tonight told me anything, it's that 60 points out of this guy is completely possible. And remember, he's only 21 years old right now. So if I'm saying that he can easily get, well, not easily, if I'm telling you that a 21-year-old Paolo Banchero tonight, I believe that he could have scored 60. Like I said, it's scary for the rest of the league, because this is year 3. What is he gonna look like in year 6, year 7, when he's in his prime? Just amazing stuff all around. It was an absolute pleasure to watch this live in person. And shout out to the Indiana fans sitting next to me. Very chill. Was not, he wasn't talking crazy. He was rooting for his team when he needed to, but at the same time, he also really wanted to see, history be made, and he was rooting for Paolo at the same time. So shout out to him. So with that, guys, our next game is this Wednesday versus the Chicago Bulls, our good friends from Chicago. It is a road game, but hopefully we can continue this momentum, and 4-1 sounds great to me. So on that note, if you guys did enjoy the video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me guys know your reaction to the performance from Paolo tonight and the rest of the team, honestly. Oh, and shout out to Tyrese Halliburton for the boo. I would boo too if I was an Orlando Magic fan comment from a couple weeks ago on WWE. So thank you for saying that. We might have never seen his performance tonight. And yeah, that was funny that it just came full circle tonight. But on that note, I'll catch you guys in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.